may this be likened into the depression, and the Lord,
Elder
the
Moses
Lord does in cycles, and so hey, we'll see how it goes.
Well, this one's gonna be worse. Worse time since all time. So first and foremost, all right, shalom, shalom. We are the brothers of the Great Millstone, the branch here in Chicago. And first and foremost, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto
Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash.
Double honors into the apostles, double honors into the elder bishops. Salutations to all our fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so now more so than never. Right? The would-be judges, 144,000, and the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth among the heathen nations, that many have the appearance of the heathen nations. This is not a black only thing. All right. And to the few Akwaf that are listening and learning, we give a sincere shalom. All right. And basically, I watched a video earlier about the condition of Texas and the amount of homeless people there. I think it's over 11,000 homeless people in Texas. Many of them women who have children sleeping in their cars, behind grocery stores and things of that nature. And you also have a lot of veterans. So somebody get that scripture when the Lord says something I hate about the a man of war being war, because it's all the billions of monies that's filtered through the United States military, through the taking of lands, through the economic hitmen that the CIA set out, to the taking of resources from all the different countries in Africa and different parts of the world. There's more than enough money that every veteran should be taken care of.
Right.
All right, even the piece of shit ones that committed crimes of war against humanity. The point is that if your men are going out and risking their lives and dying and getting injured and coming home all fucked up, they should want for nothing. All right.
Yeah, they secure resources. They secure resources for America.
It's worth trillions.
They should get their portion.
Exactly.
This Iraq 20. They secured the poly field. They should got a portion of that shit.
Yep.
It's Iraq 26-28. There be two things that grieve my heart.
Just getting it.
And the third making me angry. A man of war that suffers poverty, and men that understand it are not set by, and one that returneth from righteousness to sin, the Lord prepares such a one for the sword. So seeing a poor veteran, it says that's a grief of heart, man. Are all these Vietnam vets that's out here strung out, all right, that's on the street in wheelchairs begging for change, all right, they scared to go to the VA to get help because Esau rather kill a vet off than to help them, man.
That's right.
Because it's cheaper.
Yeah.
That's the fucking grief heart. This man is the fucking devil.
Yeah.
That's right. And then Exodus 5:15-3 says the Most High is a man of war. Yahweh is his name. So he's a man of war. Wouldn't you think that Yahweh is a man of war? Then we are, he said, endure hardness as a good soldier. We're men of the war. The Lord has a partial taken to men of war.
Yeah. On that rather kill them note, that's now the talk about when the C-19 thing went down. Right. And now that all the negative and all the death and orchestrated death, now that it's so, it seems because every time they say it's okay to speak about it, when they admit that all the shit was fraud and all that stuff, if you say something, you still get strikes and shit and all this. So you can't never really trust it. We still got to speak in code.
Yeah.
But when I say C-19er, you know what I'm talking about. But there's now talk that's out now that the people responsible for that, the couple of doctors and that they're on the government hit list as far as being brought up on charges for crimes against humanity and that sort of thing. And then what they're saying is that was a plan to get rid of a lot of the boomers and shit like that, so they wouldn't have to pay out the Social Security. And it's because it's funny that it targeted. Yeah, it's
senior
like,
facilities.
It really targeted
the elderly.
Yes, that's who were the most vulnerable people. On something that had a 0.0 something point, death rate. Why would you need to go and take anything for something that has a 0.1 or 0.2 fatality rate? So you mean there's a 0.02% out of 100,
But
that something
take it.
happened to me. Yeah,
Take the chance.
you know. So, you know, this man,
Science.
he's a physician of no value. He's a liar, man. Everything's about profit with him.
Got a quick one. This 1 Timothy 6:10. For the love of money is the root of all evil, which while some coveted after, they have erred from the faith and pierced themselves through with many sorrows.
All trying to make that money, man. Matter of fact, since you're there, go ahead and go to 6 and 20, and somebody get Sirach 10 and 8, because this is all about making money. So they creating grievous injuries, even injuries that bring death,
Yeah.
in order for them to profit. Okay.
It says 1 Timothy chapter 6 verse 20. O Timothy, keep that which is committed to thy trust, avoiding profane and vain babblings and opposition of science falsely so called.
Right. So, you know, as a beloved elder bro, Yahshua always says, you know, Esau Edom, now he's back on that on that scientific superiority, Edomite superiority bullshit. And Timothy warned us that in these days that we're in now, that they would try to use pseudoscience, fake science, false science, fraudulent science, fake statistics, all right, in order to try to prove their superiority. You know, speaking on that before the cameras came on, we were talking about the true numbers of Esau and then the true numbers of Jake. We know that Judah is probably 2 to 3 times more than 14% of the population.
That's absolutely right.
And they lie about that. And then how small Esau Edom is, and that they lie about that. Their numbers are not as great as they say. We know that there's a lot of melanated brown people that is classified as so-called white. They do that so that's how you know you can't trust this man. He's a liar, you know, from the beginning. He come out of the womb lying, man.
That's right, brother.
You can't trust anything that they say.
I got that. I got what you called for, the Sirach, but I got the 1 Timothy 6 and 20 as well. O Timothy, keep that which is committed to thy trust, avoiding profane and vain babblings, and opposition of science, falsely so called.
Yeah. So once
Say
again,
it twice.
you know, once again, the Lord warned us. What you know, the Lord, he says things 2 and 3 times. So you know, and Jake has to hear things 2 and 3 times.
Yes, they're hard-headed.
So once again, you got Jakes that will rather believe in science than believe in the Lord, and especially in the flawed, fake, phony science that Esau Edom has pushed. You know, the what they call that shit? What's his name? Freud.
Oh,
You know,
Sigmund Freud.
you know, the what they call a Freudian slip. All right, his pseudoscience. All his science was based on fraud, lies, man.
That's right.
Okay, just a
And-
bunch of lies, hypotheses, and theories.
And Esau nature.
You can't have imagine you okay. So you know how technical. You know we deal with the jujitsu, man. So you know how technical it is and how you have to learn certain moves. What if we just guesstimated every damn thing?
Or instinct.
Or we
everything.
just, or we instinct everything, you know? Well, my instinct is, you know, to punch like this, to do this. No, nigga, that's not what it has done.
That's right, brother.
All right? There's a certain way and a certain thing to do things.
That's right.
All right? And you can't just, you know, be the wing master. You know? Like certain, I even watched the video the Apostle Muhammad was doing a commentary on Nate Satan, man. The Lord is really stripping the oil from him, man.
Man.
You know, he getting caught up. He letting a novice like Ronald Dalton, a nobody who just basically learned from us and went ran with it and changed the doctrine, and he pushing that Japheth shit, you know, and then go sit down and do a lesson with vocab against the Hebrews. So if that ain't, and I did a video on that clown, you know, when he dropped that from Negroes from Hebrews to Negro shit,
Right.
and corrected him, and I got all his haters on my comment board, talking about shit that they don't know or don't understand.
right.
The guy is wrong on most of his points, man. The only thing he got right is that the so-called African Americans are a part of the tribes, and I don't recall him. It's been a while. He didn't acknowledge the Northern Kingdom either. So these people, look, the truth is coming from one place, and it's coming from the apostles and elders of the great millstone on down, man. That's where the truth is coming, man.
I got that Sirach 10. It's Sirach 10 and 7. Pride is hateful between God and man, and by both does one commit iniquity. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another.
That exactly, and that's why Esau sets up his race soldiers that they call law enforcement to hold on to what he's stolen. All right, you got a man that raped, robbed, and stole his way into power, and then set himself up to be the judge, to be the pastor, to be the teacher, to be the sheriff, to be the policeman. All right, and because the law enforcement in America are nothing but race soldiers. And the jakes that are onto them is none but sellouts, man. Because you willfully went and joined yourself to the slave patrol with the badge. But basically, you went to make money. You went to go make a career to make money off of an organization that outright oppresses your people daily. All right. You have how many cops and retired cops have made videos telling you how they're not cops anymore, or how they were instructed to do police work, enforce drug laws in neighborhoods where brown people were, and they don't enforce those same drug laws in pale neighborhoods. And I guarantee you that the average white teenagers, Edomite teenagers, there's no such thing as white people, they're walking around with backpacks full of drugs all the time. But I'm traveling daily through Bucktown, Wicker Park. All right, I go through Ukrainian Village. I don't see a bunch of Edomites bent over the hood of their cars, getting their pockets ran, and putting all the weed and Percocets and all the other shit, the shrooms and other shit, that all out of their backpacks.
Yep.
I don't see it happening, right? But you see just random. But you driving to my neighborhood, you gonna see Judah and Issachar bent over their hoods with their pockets inside out, and their seats torn out their car and all kind of shit, being embarrassed and put on parade. And half the time they don't even have any damn thing.
Yeah.
Or if they mount off, they'll plant something on them and take them in. So it happens all the time.
A cop just tried to do it to he broke the back of a.
I saw that the judge.
The judge, he didn't know she was a black old judge.
Yeah.
And he broke the back of her tail light, and he was like, oh.
He covered up his camera. You forgot that part.
Right.
He put his fingers over the camera and broke her tail light.
But you can hear it smash.
Yeah, but you can see it. So you got to understand what I learned in dealing with them. It's not what you know; it's what you can prove. Because they'll know that a person is innocent and let them walk.
That's right.
Because they don't have even though they know it, they don't have the evidence. You know. So if you didn't see it, it didn't happen. All right. But
That's Sirach 10. Is that Sirach 10 and 1 where it says it says it at the top about a wise ruler, man, and basically Esau, man, isn't wise. That's why it says does it say?
Yeah, it says Sirach 10 and 1. A wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered.
Well ordered. That's why there's all this chaos in America, because guess who's in control, man? An animal, man.
and they're orchestrating the fall.
Racism.
And in the midst of this fall, the low class people, the lower class people are suffering the most, and now Edomites are suffering horribly, right along with Jake now.
I just want to say that was a skit. That happens in real life, but that particular video was not.
Yeah.
And we talked about that too, that it might have been a skit. Or something
That
to
was a
that
skit.
effect.
But there is a real video that's been floating around for not too long, but a second now. The guy happened to be recording in the front seat, and he watched the cop in the back throw something in the back seat.
that was real.
And he caught it on camera. See? Well, yeah.
So it happens. I just wanted to make sure. It was understood.
So that's
there we
the
go.
sad
part about this whole fucking social media shit. Half the shit is fucking AI. Half the shit is a motherfucking skit. Half the shit is content creators trying to come up with some new whatever spin. That's why I don't even like watching this shit.
Well, that particular video is on, if I'm not mistaken, it's on a channel where they reenact certain shit that happens in real life.
Right.
Okay.
I think
So it's
it's
a
like
reenactment.
video.
Yeah, they reenact shit. I know exactly what you're talking about. But the point is, though, the reason you have content creators is because there's no jobs.
Right.
So everyone's trying to go to the internet to make money.
A new
So
fad,
people are
new
doing
trend,
all kind of
yep,
shit.
dances.
From the OnlyFans to you know, to the porn sites, to whatever, you know, it is that they're doing, to the people who are actually trying to do marketing and sell. But how you gonna, you know, get rich off consuming shit when then nobody has any money, man? You know, if people just don't have money like that anymore. You know, you had guys who frequent, you know, prostitutes and shit like that. Now they settling for just going out with Rosie Palm and her sister.
Bring it out.
All right, because they like shit. I can't. But you know what? It's gonna get so bad. The problem is
The
that
prostitute go come to them.
well, not only that, these prostitutes that and the women who prostitute themselves for profit, and the guys don't have the money anymore. They're gonna need money so bad. They're gonna need protection. So it's gonna get crazy out there because a lot of guys are going to just start taking it.
Elder, can I say
Right? We headed towards some really dark times, man.
Elder, remember it was just only a couple years back when we were using the scenario between the border of Colombia and Venezuela to explain that was going to come here.
Yeah.
And now it's here. But now,
Yes.
now that it says, the thing is, well, in America, it's going to just as fast as it can go down, man. You're going to have that micro, what is it called? That hyperinflation. Because right now we have inflation, which is price of judgment. Not as fast, where the hyperinflation comes in, where it's in that short period of time. You go back to the steak. That's why Wendy's had that proposal that depending on the necessity of the meal and the time, that's what they're going to charge you for your meal. But they're basically, resources are going to become scarce, man. All right, and they already warned you all this. Like even like the other said, like even these different scenarios, they're ideas that are being introduced to people. Other people that don't know those are reenactments are acting on those things. Even Edomites, because Edomites be like, oh, see, they're unlawfully making the cops look bad, and they react to them because all that is made for that. For Esau to say, look, well, you guys are taking misinformation and disinformation to make videos, and we don't know what's true, so we got to shut everything down.
Exactly.
And it has to come from one newspaper and one verified source, so that...
Yeah, because what you got that Agenda 2025. And the reason I speak on it, because it's going to go into the, about the video, what the title of the video is, because the third wealthiest state in America is Texas. And, I don't know if I mentioned it, but there's a little over 11,000 people that are homeless there. And what you have to understand, you had all these different people that work for the government, and it turns out that the whole dog is operating within fraud, because it turns out that the same amount of people that work for the government that they just released were the same amount that worked for them over 70 years ago. So, and basically what that's telling you is that with the same amount of people, they were able to service millions of more people. Because I think it was something, it wasn't 340 plus million, well, over 400 plus million now with all the migrants that are here. But you have the same amount of people that were servicing, 1.5 million less people. Now they're serving way more people. So what that tells you is that these workers were being effective, not ineffective. So the doles just lied to you. They're keeping that money, and they're also trying to bring down what they did, because the people that they fired were mostly so-called black women. They just lost all those government jobs, and now we find out that hand clap. Isaiah 32. And now I found out by listening to this same particular video. I can't remember the name of it. I'm gonna try to find it and maybe do a lesson specifically on it. But it talked about the woman that was complaining, talked about the patriarchy and how what they're trying to do, what they're now pushing in high school to the youth, is for girls to stop their education in high school and get married right after high school. So they're trying to reverse what they did, because see, they taught these women to avoid marriage, don't get married, go get your career, and then they're a super slut through high school, a super slut through college, a super slut through their whole years, and then when they're used up, got all these different, when they're completely defiled with way too many DNAs in their bodies, now they want to go and get married in a white dress and start trying to have children at damn near 40 years old. And so they got to take all these drugs and stuff. And so and with that happening, what that has done is it backfired on the so-called white race, because that their women were the ones who going to the college the most because they could afford to do it. And then because they were trying to oppress Jacob, they gave the grants and all the goodies to the Judite woman for her to go get all this high education, but not the Judite man. All right, you understand?
Yep.
So it created that imbalance, and so now, in result of it, fast forward to now, their numbers are very, very low. So what do? They go and do as they're kicking all these people out of America that actually made America run. They're bringing in racist apartheid Edomites, who are literally were born into apartheid families who were part of that shit, and they're bringing them in. And they're gonna make them deputies and all kind of shit. They're gonna some of them are gonna be the what do you call them when you get deputized to actually go after the brown people. You see what they're doing, and at the same time, they want to bring back this patriarchy, but it's not patriarchy of men. It's patriarchy of so-called white men. That's what this white woman was really complaining about. So now the so-called black woman she's being discarded. She's useless to Esau, Edom. So now you can just be a Candace Owen and be a famous or not so famous jump off, a sexual toy to Esau, Edom, a so-called white man who really doesn't care about you, because I think she just welcomed her third terror baby, little brown Edomite that Candace Owens just had.
Of course.
So she just had a third one. But the point is that you so-called black women, you've worn out your usefulness. As far as being the pit bull, working in these jobs where women aren't supposed to be over men, while helping to, especially when you work in them government jobs where you have to go in there and on all the clerks at the Title 4D places and at the IRS, the DMVs, exactly,
Bro.
Exactly, and they're literally the pit bulls for Esau Edom, and he has no more use for them. He's gonna euthanize those dogs now.
Bring it out, Reed.
So now they're making all these videos now about apologizing. We need to get back with our brothers, and the brothers don't want you. Now they mad because so many brothers is boning, and getting with the other Edomites and other women and all that.
The brothers are in
and
jail.
Esau's upset about it too because he gave his woman freedom, and now she's like, "Well, I don't need your red ass anymore. I'm gonna go get the broke BBC dude because I can." Right? Exactly. And there it is. So it's all backfiring. You understand? His play. There is no more wisdom left in Teeman. It's all backfiring on him, man.
What did the girl say with it was an anesthesia from the tooth? She said, "I need BBC."
She was cheering for it.
Well, this is
She's like, "Shut up!" I tell her, "Shut up! No, stop!"
Her mother was like, "Shh," because her mother probably was getting some too. Come on, bro.
But this is from Brookings.edu, and this is actually from 10 years ago, and it's already happening now. But they already
Wait,
projected.
before you even say it, let's also take into account going back from I think 2016 to 2020, the 40+ million adult age Edomites that died from fentanyl.
Exactly.
All right,
Yeah.
but they're like that didn't
That
happen.
number disappeared.
But yet they still the most, and yet you know what I'm saying? That wasn't so-called black people and Hispanic people died from that. That was baby age making Edomites that died from that.
They're still dying.
Okay.
That's right.
They're
And
still fucking dying.
it's-
It's not reported. They're still dying.
From that, and the ones who took that, you know what?
yes, they gotta stop.
Okay, the ones who let them put that scientific project into their veins. Go ahead.
U.S. birth rate is a 40-year low. Elon Musk reposted this on Twitter. Now, it starts off talking about Japan fertility rate is low for 2024. But then it goes and shows U.S. birth rate is at 40-year low. Australia birth rate is at all-time low. He says it's an existential crisis.
Yes, sir.
Then you go through the comments, somebody posts, this is a Western thing, and they show Europe and shit. And they say, like, Africa is up, I think 3.5 or some shit. So this is an Edomite problem,
That's
essentially.
Right, exactly.
That's right.
That being the point, that's why they brought in the South Africans.
Right.
That's what this whole Project 2025 is about. Now what they're trying to do is reverse what they've done, and but their women are not with them. Job 27:15.
That's right.
The Edomite woman isn't with them collectively. All right, they're against their own men. And they don't want to give up that BBC.
That's right.
They don't want to give up. They don't want to give up Jose and Pedro.
Once
Do
you go
not.
back,
They don't want to do that.
all right, go back.
Deuteronomy
This is
30 and 7.
That's right. This is from Brookings.edu. The geography of white population loss. I'm just going to read a little bit. I ain't going to read a lot. It says the white population is barely growing, and in about 10 years, because this was a 10-year-old article, so it's already been happening. Will begin to decline, which it's already happened.
It's already have.
Yes.
Because all through America, there are pregnant Edomite women right now that are pregnant with colored babies.
That's right, brother.
All throughout Europe, there are Edomite women that are pregnant right now with babies of color.
That's right.
All throughout Africa,
That's right.
there are Edomite women pregnant right now. And in the islands that are pregnant right now, they're pregnant with babies with men of color.
That's right.
So the Edomites, they're done.
That's
All
right.
right?
It says a consequence of an old age structure, fewer births, more deaths, and little immigration. What that means is that many places, especially those experiencing out migration, are already experiencing white population losses. During the first decade of this century, white population losses were registered for 15 states, nearly half of the 360 metropolitan areas, and over half of the 3,100 counties.
And see, his lies are coming back to bite him in the ass. Okay?
Yep.
Because what Esau, he pushed that lie that if you have one drop of black blood, well, you know, which we know that's a lie. Because
Right.
if your father, like Candace Owens' children, they're completely melanated. All right?
Yeah.
But we know the seed, the sperm that they came from. All right? So it's got nothing to do with color, man. But Esau, but by his own false logic, you know, that would make all the babies that Edomite men make, because Edomite men are also having children with other women. All right? Mainly Negro women and Asian women. Because a lot of white women don't even want to get with Esau no more. Go ahead.
I got a point and a precept. So you know how that Twitter I just mentioned, right? So I found this comment. It says, I'm ready to have at least 5 kids, maybe more. Here's a point. As soon as I find a smart man for it. Esau built that pit of feminism, and now it's biting him in the fucking ass.
That's
Because
right.
all they bitches, I guess the patriarchy, they want to party when they young, all right? Then go and have this fucking career and say fuck a husband. You see it all the time. You
Fuck a man.
Fuck
Yep.
a man. They ain't about that.
And when they get one, they want a beta male
yeah.
that
Yeah.
accepts their high body count, that accepts their masculine energy, that matter of fact, like that accepts the fact that they still want to be with other men while they're married to them. There's a lot of them that get down that way too,
Yeah.
and that's what they're looking for.
And this bitch look about 40 years old saying this. She ready to have 5 kids. She can find a smart man because the birth rates are dropping. They need it. Hey, this is Proverbs 26, right? Bitch, you old. You should have been had kids. Proverbs 26:27. Whoso diggeth the pit shall fall therein. He that rolleth the stone, it will return upon him. So Esau rolled this stone of Planned Parenthood out, and now this shit is biting them in the ass. Now they daughters is going to get abortions. Now they pro my body, my choice shit. And while your numbers are declining, you got your boomers dying off, you got Fink killing y'all, you got the fact that all this shit is against you. Then the ones that can get pregnant, they getting abortions, man.
Yep.
Esau has fucked himself over. All right? And now your women are against you. The curses are starting to hit your ass. During 37, it's starting to catch up, man. They don't want it. They don't want the patriarchy anymore. All right?
I got the one that he just quoted, Deuteronomy 30 and 7. And Yahweh thy power will put all these curses upon thine enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee.
And it's having a mega effect on America, because it's also affecting everything else as far as the decline of the quality of life.
Yeah.
Because of the lack of bread, the lack of work, you know, the grindings are ceasing. So it's declining in that. So not only are they declining in numbers, but they're declining economically, and now they're setting up all this digital shit to try to take what's left, because now they're targeting the banks. These major banks are all shifting over to this digital stuff, and they're targeting people's 401ks. Those are all the boomers, all right? And the people with the biggest 401ks are Edomites. So they getting ready to take everything, man. All right? And so they getting ready to come with this UBI with this homeless situation is out of control. Homelessness, and you know, like we said, Texas is the third wealthiest state in America, man, and they got a major MAGA homeless problem, and the same thing is happening in California. California is basically a rogue state, but both of them are two states that are on the edge of seceding. All right.
You know, said everything's bigger in Texas, even homelessness.
God. Right.
Yeah. And it only makes sense. You know, that's one of the biggest. I think it is the biggest state in the actually in the country. You know.
Right.
But yeah. But go ahead. Y'all got it.
You'll take us.
Just probably call for something. Limitations 1.
Lamentations 1 and like 21, and it says, "Make this day
Oh, yeah,
like
yeah,
unto
yeah.
them." Because essentially that's what's going on. It's Haman in the gallows.
Right.
Everything Esau thought to do to us, whether it was exterminate us, kill us off, steal our heritage, right? Now all those things are really coming upon him. His women is coming against him and things of that nature. The whole ballot of the curses is happening to him, right? He has had his due of heaven in earth, right? So now what's the opposite end to that? His hell is getting ready to begin.
That's
All right?
Yeah, you seeing Edomites get smacked up by cops.
You find it?
You know,
It's Lamentations.
you seeing, you know, that video with the MAGAs fighting against the neo-Nazi guys.
Yep.
You know, they just. I saw a video of two liberal Edomites, two older men, boomers, duking it out in the McDonald's. You know, so now these pale niggers, these real niggers, are acting up. All right.
Dang, I like how
It
you said
was
that. Real
funny,
niggas.
too.
Oh, so like
It was
All right.
comical. Yeah.
I got a precept. Oh, so like you. No, you go ahead.
Lamentations 4:21.
121.
Oh, 1 and 21. So like Lamentations 1 and 21. It says, "They have heard that I sigh. There is none to comfort me.
21.
All my enemies have heard of my trouble."
Right, have they not? Hey, they didn't bury the dead bodies. All right, they didn't tell us we was Israelites. All right, they didn't tell us who we were. Matter of fact, they licked the wounds. All right, and it starts with Esau Edom because he set it up capitalism. All right, starting with you slaves. All right, go ahead.
It says, "They are glad that thou hast done it. Thou wilt bring the day that thou hast called, and they shall be like unto thee."
Right, so everything that happened to us when we went down, how they clapped their hands at us, how they hissed, all right, is going to happen to them, all right? Just like how we look, how the hell did Jerusalem get taken down? It had to be a divine intervention. The same thing is getting ready to happen to Esau Edom. Is this the man? All right, come on.
Starting, yep.
Yep. Is this the man that caused nations to tremble? All right, go ahead.
"Let all their wickedness come before thee, and do unto them as thou hast done unto me, for all my transgressions. For my sighs are many, and my heart is faint."
So we're gonna give her double, especially here in Babylon. Overall, all you Edomites, and like with the number dwindling down, don't worry. Now it's easier to capture you motherfuckers when it's that time. All right, and all you guys are gonna do is breed more slaves for Edomite slaves for us, man.
Good.
All right, along with you other nations, because yeah, we're talking about Esau Edom, but all you go under that banner, man. All right, Isaiah 34. All right, Psalms the 83rd chapter.
Yup.
Now, hey, what's the other one? Maccabees, man. Not one has not had her part in what destroying us.
And to bind their kings and psalms,
They've
to
all
bind their
profited
kings.
and benefited in some way, and then you had those who sat by silent and said nothing, knowing who we were. And it wasn't until now that it's coming out, all of a sudden they want to speak up. And the thing is that they see that the Esau Edom is falling.
Yeah, they mad like Putin bringing out black icons. And we mentioned this yesterday. Catch the spirit you said there, Malcolm. They get mad at America and they start giving little hints.
Right.
Want to bring out the icons? What you doing that for? You had this whole time.
Right, you had it this whole time. You wait until now. This is
Wait till you see this black Jesus one. You're gonna blow their mind.
I just happened to go to the vault.
Shema.
This is off what this brother said. This is Revelation 18:6. reward her even as she has rewarded you, and double unto her according to her works. And the cup which she have filled to her double.
This is on Jeremiah 30:16. Therefore, all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thy adversaries, every one of them, shall go into captivity, and they that spoil thee shall be a spoil, and all that preyed upon thee will I give for a prey. So basically, what Shapaya was saying. Hey man, all of these nations is about to get judged, man. All of them about to get devoured. There ain't nobody getting away from what they did to the apples of the Lord's eye. But you have to pay, man. You did this this wickedness and afforded it when you could have let us go.
Knowingly.
You know, and y'all put this hell on us, and now it's time for that hell to get thrown back on you. Ezekiel 25.
Go look it up and say, nobles cannot please me.
Then Isaiah 33:1. That's the same thing.
Yeah, let me while you grabbing that, let me read this. Let me go back to Revelation 18. I'm gonna start at verse 2. And it says, and he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, the hold of every foul spirit, and the cage of every unclean and hateful bird. And how glorious that day is gonna be. It says, for all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. That's why, like St. Benji said, they got mad, and all of a sudden they want to start, you got all these foreigners that are making videos talking about the Israelites, and they were black people, they were swarthy, all of a sudden everybody's dropping these hints, all right? And giving up their relics and showing their stuff, all right? It says, for all the nations have drunk the wine of the wrath of her fornications, and the kings of the earth, which have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not a partakers of her sins, and that you receive not of her plagues. And that doesn't mean that we get, tickets and all try to fly to Africa or anywhere. That's not what that's saying. Coming out of her means it means it's not subscribing to her ways, because the Bible is very clear on how the elect are going to be delivered. All right, and so it will be stupid for you're on the list to get delivered, and you go somewhere else.
Yeah.
All right, that's like a brother missing his transport because he wasn't fucking there. All right, okay. But it says, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, I read that one, Salakia. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and God have remembered her iniquity. So the Lord is visiting and seeing the iniquities of Esau Edom, man. All right, and then that's when he said, when he says, reward her even as she has rewarded you, and double unto her double according to her works, and the cup which she hath filled to her double. All right.
Double. That's the judgment, man.
So you read the books, the heinous murders, slavery and treatment, the Jim Crow, the redlining, the prison to the school to prison pipeline, the administrings of drugs and diseases unbeknown, doctors giving injections to people of color that had diseases in them and shit like that, and all the wickedness knowingly, all right, and all that sort of thing. They got to get all that back double. Thus saith the Lord, man.
Hey man, you probably seen it. It's a series out that's called "Destroy All the Brutes." There's no way in hell Esau could deny who he is, man. It's on HBO. They show you the slaughter of the natives, the Latinos, and Jake. And that's the repeated story.
And they the savages are calling other people savages.
I got a precept.
Bring it out, brother.
This is 2 Thessalonians 1:6. It says, seeing it is a righteous thing with the Most High to recompense tribulation to them that trouble you. Hey, and for some of our people, they don't feel like they're troubled by Esau, but that's why the fact that they see him as God, they're going to fall in this trick bag, because here it is. You have our own people that are willing to die believing that their Savior has blonde hair and blue eyes, okay? And they wouldn't dare call upon a so-called black Jesus, man. And that's what's gonna be the slaughter you so-called idolatrous, man, Latinos, man.
Oh yeah,
you guys are going to die.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna tell you right now. That's why there's a huge movement of Edomites that are no longer Christians. And the reason they're no longer Christians is because of the gospel of Yahushua. Many of them know that this to be true. You got a few that still, you know, they're very stupidly and holding on to the lie. But many of them, they're not really rocking like that. And if you notice, the government has even switched from its false support of religion, and they're really pushing behind science. So that's another message being sold, you know, going to the so-called white man, is that he had a government that supposedly, in God we trust government, that's now, following after pseudoscience, which even the so-called white man knows is false. Even they're coming against, because we know when they said that, the natural immunity attributes to nothing, and then they turned around after they got caught and said, well, yeah, we lied about that. Yeah. Well, duh, nigga, we knew.
Right.
Never
trust
it's all them dumbasses it's all them dumbasses who lined up to take the poison.
Oh.
They didn't, Notice we haven't said anything, you all right?
Right. Go ahead.
I got two in the chambers.
Mm-hmm.
This Sirach
Yeah,
25.
barrel brother, let their ass have it.
This Sirach 25:7. There be 9 things which I have judged in my heart to
My
be
favorite
happy.
scriptures, bro.
Kind. And the 10th I will utter with my tongue. A man that have joy of his children, and he that liveth to see the fall of his enemy. And that's what we seeing right now, man. We seeing the fall of our enemies, man. We eating that spiritual popcorn and just smiling, man. Like, yo,
Michael Jackson.
Yeah, I was thinking that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the exact thing I was thinking.
Hey, the dishonest over his
that's
name.
me,
Right? He chewing gum and chewing popcorn.
Yeah.
And he the only one smiling. Everybody else got the look of horror.
Yeah.
Right?
Because this.
Hey, I watched a horror movie where Edomites were getting annihilated. And that was me. Everybody else is no.
You're like, woohoo! You're like, what you doing?
Right. What the fuck?
This is also Salakia. This is Mark chapter 3, verse 25. If a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand. And if Satan rise up against himself and be divided, he cannot stand but have an end. And we seen that, man. They at each other. You can't forget that the Russians are Edomites too, man.
Yeah.
And they
Salakia, brother. No, you said they're divided against each other. So now I don't know if it's real or false, but but now Trump is supposedly beefing with Putin and all that other stuff. And I said, okay, well then that's just gonna make Putin go out and do something to fulfill prophecy.
That's right.
And then literally the next day it was breaking news. All right, that Israel launches major Gaza offensive to seize control of areas. So they started doing all this shit in Gaza again when they weren't supposed to be doing it because Trump went to go sit down with the heads of the Saudi Arabians to make this deal where they left Israel out. So Benjamin Netanyahu, not a Jew, his pussy hurt.
Yeah.
So he mad he wasn't invited. So he went and did some shit. So look, the least of the flock is gonna make this thing happen, man. Because the scriptures are very clear when it says, somebody get that, and somebody get 1 Thessalonians 5:3. Because when they say peace and safety, man, shit about to go down. So now everybody's clapping. Oh, they're gonna pull back the tariffs, and Trump's making peace with Iran through Saudi Arabia and all. I'm like, nigga, you stupid.
Silly.
How stupid are you, man?
That's right.
Don't understand
That's right.
forked tongue.
And like the scripture, about to get that scripture, the scripture says, as in the days of Noah shall be the same under the Lord's return. Now, they were given in marriage, it always a semblance of life. So people look now like, no, we going to work, we got to be there. Shit ain't happening. But they're not looking at the plagues, they're not looking at the signs, they're not looking at the news, they're not looking at the word and the prophecies coming to pass. So they think, like people we've known in our past, our cousins, like, oh, we got 30 years, I got 50 years.
We got time.
We got time. They said, who said that? Nate said it. He said it a couple weeks ago. They asked him, how long you think? So I don't know. I'm not saying this was all, but maybe 20, 30 years. Then Sakari told him, I'm talking about it could be in 1,000 years. Yo, man, pray the Lord, Yahweh, about you now.
That shows you that they do not understand the scriptures
At all.
The spirit is not with them.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
All right.
They're settled on their leads.
Yeah. They chose who their master is, man.
You know, it says what? Oh, death! How bitter it is to them that are at ease in their possessions, roughly paraphrasing. Hey man, these dudes, they sold out, they eating deliciously,
Yep.
so they want
Something
this
crazy
to
in the back.
continue. Something crazy in the garage.
Seriously.
You know, they want that shit, man.
They master is mammon.
As opposed to the scripture saying the
Straight gate.
captive exile.
Right.
Who hates it fast, you know, that they may be loosed,
Man.
you know, from this, you know.
The righteous complain continually.
I got that scripture, 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 3. It says, for when they shall say peace and safety.
Can you start at one? Salaki.
This is 1 Thessalonians 5 and 1. And above it says the day of the Lord. So it says, but of the times and the seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you.
Brethren.
For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. For when they shall say peace and safety, right? And then it says, matter of fact, further in this, but ye, brethren, are not in darkness, that they should overtake you as a thief. Why? Because we're the watchmen, watching for the signs of the times, right? So, it says, for yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. For when they shall say peace and safety, and who's the ones that's going to be saying peace and safety? All right, the powers that be.
Yep.
You see, because they don't want you to know the agenda. There's a thing that's called gradualism, all right, to get to their ultimate agenda and do it in little small increments, all right, so you don't notice the difference, so you don't notice anything, so you don't, buck up and,
Question.
They don't want sedition or question, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there was a great comedian that I believe they got rid of him. And he made the statement in one of his stand-ups that this government does not want a well-formed society.
Carlin.
I didn't say his name on purpose. But nevertheless, he said that the government did not want, does not need nor desire a well-informed society. They don't, because if people knew what the hell was going on here, they'd be running up in their city halls, right? Like them Europeans do. We all saw that. Asha brought it up. That one dude who walked into that meeting with he had the thing on him and a couple grenades.
Yeah.
He wasn't fucking playing.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Them Europeans, when they feel like they've been wronged by that government, or misused unlawfully, they take a stand. Americans, I always say, they say they have the home of the brave, and I can keep calling it. America's the home of the bend over and take it. All right.
And then a bunch of cups.
Yeah, they bend over. They hand you the Vaseline, then bend over for you. That's what these fucking sorry ass, weak ass Americans do, man. Or they do like Cassie's husband. You know. All right.
Or anal sauce.
Damn.
Going back to this 1 Thessalonians 5 and 3.
He still with that chick?
Still with it?
Hey. It says, for when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. You see, because they're going to get caught out there, because the Lord going to catch them unawares. Why? Because they wouldn't watch it for the Lord. They didn't desire the Lord. They wouldn't watch it for the signs of the time.
I'm saying, you know what they peace and safety? The MOTB. They gonna look at that as a solution, because before all the World War III shit pop off, that MOTB got to be dropped.
Right.
So when that hour of temptation is brought upon us, only select members is gonna be covered from that. The rest of you people that's not in the know, you're gonna go for the okie doke, man.
Right, and like you said, they're gonna play it as it's the saving grace,
Right,
as
yep.
it's the solution. But guess what? To say that, then, well, that denotes that there's gonna be some type of craziness and chaos going on in the world where it's no type of normalcy, to where people they're looking for the normalcy. So the powers that be, the wicked powers that be, is going to come and implement and mandate that so-called saving grace, which is the MOTB, all right, to get back to some type of normalcy. So then those that want that normalcy is gonna take it. You know what I'm
Snake
saying?
oil doctor.
That's it. That's it.
Selling the snake oil.
What'd you say then?
Well, I got a precept for you, but just like during the lockdowns,
Yep.
right? You have either certain camps out there talking about, well, you need to work, don't you?
Yeah.
Like, you need to do this, don't you?
Right.
You gotta eat, don't you? Look,
Yeah.
man, Isaiah 31 and 1.
Yeah.
Most of them that go down to Egypt for help and stay on horses and trust in chariots because they are many, and in horses because they are very strong, but they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek Yahweh. So, for one, woe means destruction. So if you trusting in Egypt, destruction.
That's it.
Yet he also was wise and will bring evil and will not call back his word. So the hour of temptation will come. All right, bad times will come. Evil will come to this world, man.
And we're talking about the height, because it's already bad times and evil. But there's about to be a time like
It's
the
about to
scripture
get
says.
worse, man.
Yeah, never before.
Like that dream I had. That shit was crazy, man.
Yep.
So people getting ready to be kicking indoors, man.
Yep.
It's just a matter of time. And then from what I hear, it's already happening. They're just not reporting on it.
Right.
All right. And like that one guy, the video I watched, when the guy said, "Let me see if I still have it. I'll just play it."
Right, like you said, it's already happening, but on small scales. See, it's gonna happen on much bigger scales.
On the big scale, so much that Michael the Archangel gonna have to come. That's how it's gonna be.
You fucking Christians been getting on my nerves on lately, man.
Lately.
I mean, not lately, but you know that. I mean, I'm sorry. I mean, you be getting on my nerves for the last 18 fucking years, man. Scoffing this shit. All right, scoffing us, calling them correct names, speaking the correct language. I just want to die. Just mocking your house shy, talking shit, talking about the Gentiles saying Israelites, and everybody be saying, I can't wait till you get fucking terrified.
Get what they
take
fucking
control.
deserve.
Right, and it's coming. It's coming.
Right.
And we're giving you the warning right now.
Right.
But the thing is, only ones that's going to heed the warning is the elect of the nation of Israel. So by the time it go ahead and hit those that it's going to hit, hey, you without excuse because you were told and you just didn't accept it.
That's why, so like I was about to say, that's why the scriptures say, my sheep will hear my voice. That's all I want to say.
Kanye, it's more than this, Pops. Okay. I ain't finished the verse out. Yeah, he also was wise and will bring evil and will not call back his words. But will arise against the house of the evildoers. So Esau was going down. And against the help of them that work iniquity. So the help they come with is peace and safety. It says the Lord is going to rise against it. Now the Egyptians are men and not God. And their horse is flesh and not spirit. So the shit Esau come with is man-made. And people look at this, at America, this technology. They look at
Technology. Technology.
They look at this shit and they think, oh, look how great this place is, but there's no spirit in it.
Right.
The Lord give you a horse, it won't run you off a fucking cliff.
Right.
You driving a car. Hey, a bitch just, I just saw a clip where this car was going fast as fuck down a residential area, flipped, ran and went airborne and went into a house.
Damn.
The bitch had a heart attack while driving. But because this vehicle, this horse, has no spirit, it didn't stop. It kept going. And in fact, her foot hit the accelerator and went faster and fucked some shit up, right? But it says, now the Egyptians are men and not God. And their horse is flesh and not spirit. Well, the Lord shall stretch out his hand. Both he that helpeth shall fail, shall fall. And he that is hoping shall fall down. And they all shall fail together. So Esau with his help is being attacked. If you take their help, you're going to fall with them.
Yes, sir.
So when that chip is in place, the answer to everything,
Broken reed.
all right, you got to be fucked, man.
Yeah, because they, like you said, they're gonna make it so bad. That's why they're doing this. And the whole Agenda 25 and everything, the bringing in the digital thing, they want to get this UBI going and the rounding up and bringing down the numbers of Jake and bringing in all these Edomites. I'm gonna play this short video. It's only a minute and 20 seconds long. I found it's not the one I wanted, but this is still a good one on the same subject, similar subject matter, I should say.
Can I get this in while you?
Hold it, brother, because I got it. It's right here. Man.
The name Eric Prince ring a bell with any of you? Well, it should. He's behind Blackwater. You know, that military contractor group that was over in Iraq and the Middle East that ultimately massacred hundreds of people. But the only one we were able to prove was when they shot 16 Iraqi civilians and 15 more, killing 14 in total. No surprise, Donald Trump pardoned all of them in 2020. Now we're in 2025. Eric Prince just came up with a bid to the federal government saying he could round up 16 million illegal immigrants in the United States by the midterms for $25 billion. Furthermore, in his little battle plan, he proposes that we recruit people from other countries to come over and help us do this. Because him and Trump both know that damn near 70% of the country would never be on board with this. And guess who just landed in the United States last night? The first group of white South Africans claiming to be persecuted of their skin color that are pro-apartheid. No kidding, man. And now we're getting reports that Blackwater camps are being set up in U.S. military bases. This is what you call the actual invasion, folks. It wasn't brown people from Latin America. It's our own government.
So the own government is about to move on the people, man, and he's gonna use a lot of these racist Edomites offshoots from other countries to do it, man.
Trojan horse.
All right.
It's like a Trojan
So
horse.
because he's complaining about migrants, but yet he wants to bring in Edomites from around the world to you see what's happening here.
That's my
So he's trying to push the actual people who are from this landmass out. All right,
Again?
or put them again,
Right.
and put them inside these internment camps and prisons, as he brings in Edomites, and where he's going to be forcing the girls to get married right after high school and have Edomite babies. That's what they want. That's the whole MAGA. That's the Make America Great. That's MAGA goes hand in hand with Project 2025. And when you really get them to talking and being honest, they'll tell you that's what it means to them. Make America. It should just be called Make America White Again. All right? Because, I listened to a guy get interviewed, and basically he was talking about, I just want to take it back to when we had all the advantage. When we got hired first and we had all the jobs and they weren't taking, and the blacks weren't taking all our women.
Oh, that's gonna happen.
And I'm like, well, damn. I'm like, damn. I'm like, well, Pedro and Jose taking your women too. Hell, I'm like, even Sanjay taking your women, man.
That's not gonna stop.
I'm like, why you?
It ain't gonna stop.
Yes, Saeed and Sanjay taking your women, man.
It means King Long is too. Everybody's taking Esau because Esau males ain't doing it.
Nah, he gay.
So,
Gay.
you gotta say that. You gotta say it in your Riley voice.
Gay.
Jail niggas gay. Exactly, man.
But that's beautiful because the Lord says he's overturning everything that Esau's done.
Shameful spewing on his glory.
Exactly. Perfect.
He's no longer white. No, he's a
Right,
little
he's
dirty.
not as pure as he thought he was. This man, and he turns himself into an angel of light. But it is known across the world that Esau is the devil. You ain't got to believe in the devil or the Bible or whatever you want to call it. Most of these other nations know that the so-called white man is a deceiver. He's a fucking liar. He cannot be trusted.
The Hawaiians and Samoans hate him.
They say that
They really dislike him. We all remember that woman that got up and led that war chant. So
Did it for the rock.
they say that
she got. I didn't know what the fuck she was saying. She got me charged.
God.
So she got everybody riled up, man. So, but the point is that the nations the people are tired of Esau, man.
Yeah. They say that in like foreign movies, like especially if you watch the major movies, they always call Esau Edom the self-proclaimed white man. They call him the foreign devil every time.
Yeah.
See, but even Esau don't fuck with Esau. Even the Mormon dude that we had a couple of weeks ago that came to the camp, the tall one from London, when I told him that when I was over there in London that the majority of them didn't fuck with America, he said, "You're right." Now here he's over here in America.
Americans don't really fuck with the Mormons either, because that's the one branch of Christianity that all Christians come against. Okay, because within the Christian community, they don't consider Mormons Christians. In case you didn't know that, Christians don't consider Mormons Christians at all, because they figure they just got their own book. They got a whole nother book, and I'm like, well, then why you not saying nothing about the Jewish people? They worship out of the Talmud, and then the Jewish rabbis keep calling you American Christians Edomites. He keep telling you Esau. You know, Asaph, you Esau.
Not us.
You know, right?
Right.
Yeah, right.
Right.
So you know, like the brother mentioned it earlier, that a house divided cannot stand, man.
Right.
And
Yeah.
these people are completely and totally against each other. Pops, you had a scripture, bring it out, Bob.
No, well, that division is at the height. Esau's been divided for a long time. You go back to Greece, you go back to Rome.
Yup.
Esau is greedy
Isaiah 19
even
too.
amongst his own people.
Yeah.
Right? And that's just his history. When the Lord told him he will be the ruler of sin, that's what it is. Even amongst his own people. You know, you have an unrighteous father. All right? So now that we're at pretty much almost the
64,
totality of Esau's ruling, everything's out in the open. This man has been wicked since the beginning.
You're right.
Right?
You're absolutely right. Since Greece and Rome, even before when it, at the
I
setting up
always
of
say the
Greece,
evils multiply.
it multiplied, and the Edomites first warred on each other, and then they started warring on all the people around them. Because you got to think Alexander's men, who were supposed to be together and rule together in his stead, they all started fighting against each other.
But that's why they got rid of them.
murdering each other's families, and then the families murdered each other.
yeah.
Brothers murdered brothers. You know,
I got something for that. Yeah, something.
Well, I was gonna mention. I can't remember the name of the original, the first. That was one of the four that they got rid of.
I think they got rid of. It was like Lysimachus. Which one was it? You had Cassander, Lysimachus,
The four generals.
the four generals.
Right, but-
Cassander Ptolemy.
Right, but that was one
There was another one.
That they got rid of.
him. And the reason they got rid of him was because he wanted to keep the kingdom united like Alexander had.
Right.
They said, no, fuck that.
Let's get
The two of them united to get
let's get him.
to get him out.
Right.
And
And then
then
they killed
they
Alexander's son
separated.
too. Right, because Alexander had a son, so they made sure that he got that he got unalived, so he couldn't raise him. Because that would made all them illegitimate. If his son would have got to age, so they got rid of him too. So these Edomites, that's what they own, man.
This is Isaiah the 19th chapter and the first verse.
I just
The burden
said,
of Egypt, and this is modern day Egypt. Behold, the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud, and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence. And the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians. And they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof. And they shall seek to the idols, and to the charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards. And the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord, and a fierce king shall rule over them, saith the Lord of hosts. And that fierce king looks like Donald J. to the Trump. All right? And right now, out of all the time in America, we have Esau against Esau on such a high level. I mean, they're against each other. Matter of fact, Esau's against each other not only here in America, but Esau abroad. The European powers are against America, even though they're supposed to be allies. The European powers against Russia, America's against Russia, even though they're still Edomites. The Lord has put a thorn all throughout Esau, Edom, and it's coming to fruition today.
Divide and conquer. Same
Yes,
thing
sir.
that happened to us. It's happening to Esau on all scales.
Yeah, because you can't fight your enemy and then fight yourself too.
They call him Donald.
And there was a Chinese general, Chinese warlord or general, and I forget his name, but he said something to the effect that when your enemy is in the chaotic state, you leave him be, let him weaken himself. All right. Let him destroy him, let him weaken and destroy himself, roughly paraphrased.
aren't those his initials?
And then it'll be
JT?
that much easier to go in and conquer him.
Donald
And Moab really believes, because I don't know if you know, but the Moabites really went hard against Israel and threatened them, and basically said if you do anything, if you do anything to come against us, you will no longer exist.
And dropped that.
Moab
by
just
age.
said that
Yep.
yesterday. Yeah, that's what he said. He said
They flew
basically,
over. Yeah, they flew
Moab,
over
yeah,
where they were supposed to fly over. Yeah.
What they did was Moab flew into the area that
No flight.
the Edomites, the Amalekites over there had cut off food supply from the Gaza.
Yep.
The Chinese went over there, broke through their barricades, and brought the people food and supplies.
Horrible.
Basically said, if you say or do anything, we'll wipe you off the face of the earth. It's basically what they
It's
just
like
said.
say something, little nigga.
Yeah, and guess what? Amalek didn't say a fucking
thing.
They ain't say a
fucking
goddamn
thing.
thing. All right, the Chinese went over there to Israel, but they're the chosen people though.
Right.
But they went over there to Israel, went through them barricades, brought this food, water. All right, and the IDF was the bitches they are because they only as big Billy badasses when they fighting and killing
Women and
unarmed
children,
people,
yep.
women and children, and people they can't fight back. Yeah, they have no means. You got guns and we got slingshots. All right, now they want to be tough. Now you have some soldiers come over there, and we've all seen them down the Moab, you know, them damn Koreans and them Chinese, how they get down. You know, IDF didn't want no smoke.
Definitely didn't want that.
So them niggas went on a smoke break. While they went through them barriers and brought all that food.
It's funny that
So we came back off break and they just had food and supplies.
We had a meeting.
That's funny. That's funny you say this. Now I saw the video of them saying it, China saying it, dropping
China.
videos and everything. I just went to go pull it up, and all I said, China drops food over Gaza. I'm hearing false claims of China airdrops to Gaza.
I watched it. I got the video.
But I'm gonna let you know, this is the war that we're in now.
Yeah.
It's an information war, and they're losing, but they still control the narrative. Because I saw it too, Zaquan, and I promise you, that's why I was about to pull it up. And first thing I do to go pull it up, I didn't go into my archives. I went to just Google, and they're saying, "Oh, it didn't happen." They said, "Did China really airdrop aid to Palestine?" No. They said, "Fact check: China airdrops aid into Gaza Strip." No. Find the facts here.
They were on live yesterday for about an hour, and it says right here, this is what the Chinese said. Okay, let me put this in the camera. Can you focus on that? They said that this. I was watching it live I watched about 20 minutes of it yesterday.
Damn.
You know, I think
All right. They had a live press, and this was before they went and brought the aid to Gaza. All right. So them Israelis coming against it. Cheesecake, nigga? What the fuck? It says,
Drop cheesecake.
and guys got some cheesecake.
Hey, them niggas deserve
Niggas,
too.
they
What
actually-
you mean, right?
you know what,
Don't you niggas get by. What you
Hey,
gonna
what
deserve
these kind of
cheesecake?
cities are going through, they actually deserve
Right,
some
bro.
fucking
Least thing you can do is drop some sugar.
But it
on
says, this is what the Chinese spokesman said, all right, on national TV, on the fucking internet, all right, because I was fucking watching it with the translators. It says, Israel cruelty has reached its peak. For a long time, no country dared to send food and drinks to Gaza. Netanyahu oppressed Gaza through illegal occupation. China continues to support the 6.20 cargo ships and dispatches modern jet fighters to escort the cargo. If Israel makes even the slightest mistake to stop it, Israel's name will be erased. And Netanyahu will cry and go to Trump to save us from China. That's what this man said on live fucking TV yesterday, broadcasting fucking live.
Now, while you're saying that, I'm playing footage of them.
So that's what he said, man. So they can, try to sit up and try to control the narrative and say, fact check. This did not happen. Nigga, you got black eyes and teeth missing. It's evidence that you got your ass whooped.
Come on, man.
Yeah. Talking about, then nothing happened to me. I fell down. I just, nigga, you got knocked out.
I'm showing videos of it now. So if China didn't do it, who dropping it? We know Israel didn't do it. You know America didn't do it.
Process of
Right?
elimination.
Who's dropping out? Look, I'm showing right now footage of these things that come from parachutes. The food that's and they're getting
Escorted by fighter jets.
Come on now. and you see people picking it up, and you see a whole bunch of Palestinians.
And why would you just want to,
Come on,
do
man.
that to people? Just let them starve to death.
Come on, bro.
So these people are extra wicked, man.
Run that again.
I got you.
This is the same nation that told America, listen, we don't want war, but we're ready for it.
No.
That was
Bro.
a hell of a statement to say.
Canada, bro, one of their hugest trade partners that was basically like, look, we already pulled your shit off the shelves. He said, and even if y'all stop the tariff, we're not even, basically they're in a pro-Canada kick, man. And then people get organized more than you Americans will, man. The rest of the world ain't fucking dildo heads like you Americans,
You
man.
show it on this camera too, Baba Kushar.
What the words?
No, he's gonna. Nah, but he gonna show a little bit of the video.
Okay,
Just
okay.
the footage.
And just show you the lies of Esau Edom, and it's really
He's
unfair.
lying and said it didn't happen, and this
Yeah.
shit just happened, and this footage went up all over the internet and every fucking where.
And they
Yesterday.
can't scrub it. That's why they want to control the internet, because they want to
Fair use, fair use.
They want to take away all the evidence of their debauchery.
And right, and I watched the man say it in the damn, come
While
on,
it was
man.
happening.
Right.
That's it. This is not happening. Do not pay attention. Don't look up.
Right. There's nothing to see here.
Right. Yeah, he's like, they're right. Don't pay attention to that man behind the curtain.
Right.
You know?
Wizard of Oz.
You know? So yeah, man. So, and as far as, we did touch on the title a little bit. We did talk about Texas a little bit. But the spirit do what the spirit do, man.
That's right.
And the fact is that it's not only, homelessness is a problem all across America, and it's only going to get worse, man. All right? What's that pretty lady? The sister that got the little talk show, always wearing a hat. Now she's become very popular. She's always talking about gloom and doom now, but basically she did know. Candace Owens is not that cute. This chick is really pretty. She but basically her last video was she was talking about people living in poverty. And no, not people living but people living in the storage units.
Oh,
that's a regular thing across America. People living in storage units. Yeah. All right, because you can afford to pay your storage unit, so you can it's safe, I guess. You can go in there, it's heated, and you can slide your door down and get inside your own little thing. Yep. And then you get up and leave early in the morning and go to work and do whatever. Yep. You go to the gym, work out, take a shower, and go to work before you come back home to your storage unit. Mm-hmm. All right. I mean, it feel like you going in and out of prison every day. You got to return to a prison cell, but but living in America, we in one gigantic prison cells. Some people are locked in the actual room, a 5 by whatever room, and then some people are free to roam and ride the trains and ride around, but you can't leave. But you really can't leave the gigantic. You still inside the prison. You can't leave it.
There's people that do videos of them being in their vehicles and stuff and make it seem like it's super cool and shit like that.
Yeah, they've been doing that for years. If you think back over the last 3-4 years, they were really pushing that van living. Yep. And people were buying trucks and turning them into houses and stuff like that.
Exactly.
They were trying to glorify, the tiny home movement. The people touring their home, got your home hooked up to your truck.
Buying storage units and turn them into that shit.
So, that was all signs of the decline, man, and now it's here. Yep. Right? So, we just want to give all praise to Yahweh. Hand claps, man. Woo! It's a beautiful thing watching, these people, the curses fall upon them, and watching this place go down. So with that, we're going to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh.
Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Hashem, Rakakadash.
Kwam Yasharala.
Kwam Yasharala.
Abad Babal.
Abad Babal.
Turn
Hey,
those machines back.
the dog barking for half a second.